everybody. Hi. Welcome to Let's Talk Tuesday. Today, I'm so excited. I got the comparable Miss Athena Callender. For those who know and love her, she is also known as Coach T. She is a holistic lifestyle and business consultant. She is changing lives, empowering women, and giving everybody to go. Welcome, Miss Athena. Thank you very much for coming on my show. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Laurie, for having me on. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here, just representing women, empowerment, holistic healing, and really just helping to give back to the community and helping women to level up in their minds, in their hearts, in their bodies, and in their souls. And again, the soul provider, restoring wealth and wellness. I'm so happy to be on your platform today.
Thank you very much. Since I do know you, so I have a few little insights so we get goodie bags. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself for those of you who don't know you?
Certainly. So my name is Athena Callender, and I am the founder and creatrix of Restoring Wealth and Wellness. And I am on a soul-led mission to inspire the hearts and minds of women globally. And these are women who are dealing with generational trauma, ancestral trauma that shows up in forms of obesity, depression, high blood pressure, different types of disharmony in relationships. And so I help women to break through all of that by returning back to Mother Nature. And so I'm here based in Central Massachusetts, where I was born. I was raised out in California. And so that's really where I got a lot of my roots in terms of being raised in the Christian household, learning about faith and tithing from an early age. I'm also Indigenous. I'm a Hassanamisco Nipmuc, and my background is in corporate. I've been a sales executive leader for 25 years, having worked for some of the top Fortune 500 companies like Bank of America, Santander, New York Life Insurance Company. But I found throughout my time, Coach Laurie, that my soul was strained. You know what I mean? I wasn't fulfilled in those, in those roles that I played. And I always knew that there was a more that I could do, but I was dealing with a lot of turmoil deep within, as I mentioned. The work that I'm doing now is helping to empower women, to overcome like depression, because I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and it really impacted my whole life. And so I knew I needed to heal, but I wasn't able to find my healing in the traditional church. I go every Sunday and I'd be at the altar, and you know what I mean? I just never really got my full deliverance. And so, I had to go on a whole quest really to get to the root of who I am, and, really take the steps to overcome a lot of the issues, from low self-confidence and, again, having worked in corporate, it's a machine where it spits you up and, or chews you up and spits you out. There's no heart and soul. And so being a single mom, I was pregnant at 19 and didn't want to be a statistic per se. I knew I needed to persevere. But I said all that to say about me and my story is all about getting my healing. And so that came really when I learned about Dr. Sebi, when I learned about Dr. Layla Africa. And this was during my last stint, my last corporate role at Definitive Healthcare. And at that time, I was the #1 sales executive leader, earning multiple six figures. And this was the first time that I actually loved my corporate job, because this particular company was a startup, and I had the autonomy really to go in and do my thing. I had freedom, and I got paid really well. And so, once I had that, I was like, wow, this could work for me. But then I realized throughout time, because the company grew and became a corporate machine, I have to create something for myself, because I don't want to jump to another corporate career and run another 3 to 5 years, because I'm in sales. And so sales is a very, very driven, very goal oriented, a type of industry. And in order to make it in corporate, you have to be the best of the best. And it's a lot of churning, month after month, quarter after quarter, quotas, like, oh my God. But I did the dance for a long time. But what I found, Coach Laurie, is that my womb was closed. When I wanted to get pregnant at this job, which was like, hey, making multiple six figures, I'm the number one sales director. So on the outside it looks good, but on the inside, I wanted to grow and expand my family. But I didn't know how that was going to be possible given the way that my life was designed. It was just designed to serve the corporate, you know what I mean? And I missed out on a lot of my daughter's upbringing because I had to work as a single mother. And so a lot of the work that I'm doing now is helping women to be able to design the holistic lifestyle of their dreams on their terms. And so with that being said, Coach Laurie, I wanted to get pregnant. I was not able to. And so that's when I really had this big come to Jesus moment, if you will. And that's when I knew it was either life or death. Because at that point, I wanted to commit suicide. And I knew that if something didn't give in my life, that it was over. I was like a dead man walking, like a zombie. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like I'm showing up, but it was just lost and empty on the inside. I needed to fill up the inside. And so with that being said, how I was able to do that was when I transitioned to a whole food plant-based diet and wanted to get pregnant. I was about 200 pounds. I was very toxic. I was drinking, I was smoking. So there was no way that I was, set up to have a baby. Plus I was getting close to 40. And I know, Coach Laurie, you talked about having your baby after 40, you know what I mean? Yes. What happened was later in life, so I believe God for my later in life. But my later in life was just a womp womp. But I still believe that God could do a miracle because He did a miracle for Sarah in the Bible, with Abraham. Either way you slice it, God is a keeper of His promises, and so I always believed in my heart that if that's what God's will was, that God would allow me to conceive. But I had to also heal my body. It was no way I was going to get pregnant in those conditions. So I had to do a whole life overhaul, Coach Laurie. So with that being said, I returned back to Mother Nature. I started to reject meat and dairy, but I had prayed already for God to take away my appetite when I was selling Mary Kay back in 2007. So it wasn't until about 2018, 2019, 12 years later, that my palate started to change. And then with that, I started to lose weight and I started to lighten up. My daughter had introduced me to crystal technology, healing properties with the crystals. And those are also used in our cell phones. And there's a lot of research that's done talking about the benefits of working with crystals. And I noticed a lot of changes in my life. And then I started working with different minerals like the sea moss, the bladderwracks. I also started working with burdock root, which Dr. Sabi had recommended, along with tons of superfoods. So I replaced all of the processed foods, all of the meat, all of the dairy with all of the life-giving foods. And then also meditation practices that I started to adopt at that time. My life transformed, Coach. And then in the fall of 2020, that's when I end up, losing my job at Definitive Healthcare, which was a blessing. And then I end up going on my journey to create my practice now. Once I was able to lose 70 pounds, I reversed allergies, reversed asthma, reversed my bipolar disorder naturally. I still needed to unplug and go on my pilgrimage to really hear from God as far as what my life's purpose is, and do some more deep healing work, through eating raw, long fasting, colonics, and then working with different types of plant medicine as well. So that's really been a saving grace for me. And so now I know there was a lot, but essentially I've gone through a lot, seen a lot, experienced a lot. And so now I want to be able to share that expertise in business, in health, in wellness, in life, you know what I mean? And spirituality, we're all, God is, inside of us looking to create. And so I'm here to help people to remember who they are, why we came back here this lifetime, and then to help you to be able to create the life of your dreams with no fear, with no pain. And that's really it. So Laurie, I'll turn it back over to you. I'm sure there's something you may want to, add in. So
thank you for sharing that, and thank you for giving us that timeline, because some people think that this journey is like instant, and it is not. For here, you go back to way 2008 and come up, even like with the food change and the diet changes. I changed my diet in 2017 to pescatarian. I still haven't got your level yet. I'm almost there. My goal this year is to try to go vegetarian. I think I'm doing a little better, but it does take a while to change that palate. And I was wondering if the change in the palate is determined by truly just length of time, or how well or fast you're able to detox your body. Like, does detoxing help change that palate faster?
That's a great question, Coach Laurie. Does detoxing change your palate? So, like with the palate, one of the things that I found, like for an example, like bananas is something that I just could not take inside because it was too mushy. And then certain foods were extremely bitter. I would take some different type of bitter herbs. So earlier in my journey, it was something that I just could not take. My body was like, nope, give me some pizza, give me a chicken wing. I'm not ready for that level of bitters, because there's levels to it, Laurie.
Okay.
But one of the things that I would say, as you start to cleanse and as you start to detox, then your body's more open for that life. You know what I mean? Because now I'm at a place that I could take things that I wouldn't think I would take, like crickets and ants and Trilogy, which is high mountain resin, which tastes like dirt, you know what I mean? But it's loaded with so many minerals, and it's used over in Ayurvedic and TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. And so for me, to your point, yes, there's definitely levels. And I think as you start to detox, your body is more open to receive. But then I also recommend for people to pray and to ask God to give you the same palate that God has. Because I knew either way you slice it, I was like, I need help with that, you know what I mean? To eat the good stuff, you know what I mean? But I can say that prayer works because now, like even with the green goddess, the daikon radish, that's an anti-cancer, very high in fiber, loaded with lots of vitamins, that daikon, and it's very peppery. And when I first took that daikon and I ate it, I spit it out. I said, whoa, what is this, And then, but now, I love it. I will eat the daikon plain. I'll peel that thing. I'll eat it like a carrot. And, so it's levels, Laurie, to be honest. But for me, once I learn what the food does for my body, the taste goes out the window. Similarly to like the ACV, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it doesn't taste good. I'm like, if you don't take your apple a day, do you want to have other types of treatments where you got to go to the hospital and get all these meds, or will you want to just have a little bit of tart apple cider vinegar and add a little honey to it and sweeten it up? So people just have to be open to trying different types of things that's a little bitter, but it's better. And in the end, it's going to help you to have more vitality, more energy, which is what we need to create an abundant life that God desires us to live. So right. I thank you for that. I remember when I took the 21-day attunement with you, I'd always heard about ACV, but I've never taken it, and you were very adamant that we had to hydrate and replenish our body, and I was able to get it in. So I can get it now. At first it bothered me, but now I'm like, I drink it, and I'm trying to get my kids to drink it. They're like, no, it's disgusting. But that's why I asked you to take time when you do your palate and you change it. Can you taste it? Because like I also used to drink those syrups to put in the waters. Now I just taste the chemicals. Like certain foods now, I can taste the chemicals in them when I eat them, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't taste good, or it doesn't taste as appealing as it used to, because I know my palate has changed. So thank you for explaining that to us. You do a lot individually with people, and you're a very soul-centered, heart-centered person. My other question is, what do you do, or what do you want to do in your community?
with your consultations? Like, what is your goal right now to do in your community?
I love it. Right now, it's really looking to get out and make a presence in the community as far as letting them know that I'm available as a resource. And so I'm looking to do some partnerships in the community. For an example, with the Village, that's run by Shaija Medina and Miss Parley. And so they do a lot of work, where it's an Afro centric healing and development cultural healing center. And so for me, I want to be able to go in and provide healing resources, and then also, nutritional workshops. I plan on doing a lot of workshops out of the Village, where there are local, that's like the local spot. And then also partnering with other organizations within the community as well. Like, Worcester, we're known for Seven Hills. We have all the colleges. So there's a big market here that I'd like to get in front of, as well as the churches in the community. And that's it, just here to empower and here to help people know that there's alternative ways to heal, through sound, through food, through nature, through this holistic lifestyle, that I live. I want to be able to impart that to others, which is like one of my favorite sayings. If you give a man to fish, you will feed him for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, you will feed him for a lifetime. So that's really the work that I'm doing, is helping to teach people how to, fish and eat for a lifetime.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Village is a wonderful source. I'm so excited it has come to pass. Now that I'm way down here in Connecticut, I can't get there as much as I like to, but my plans as well. Hopefully I can go there more and just join, like, do your workshops and just join and be in commune in that community. I have a question, which I think, what would you tell your younger self? Young Athena.
Oh, what would myself now tell younger Athena? Oh, yeah. I would say, girl, be patient. I would definitely say be patient, be kind. You know what I mean? Because I was very jaded, Coach Laurie. I had major back surgery at the age of 12. I had a beautiful life up until that point. I was very athletic. I was like one of the fastest runners in California. I loved sports. I loved, like the bars. Like I could see myself being like a gymnast, And, but then, I had that major surgery, which changed the whole trajectory for my life. And I was so angry, and had such low self-confidence. And I did not believe I was beautiful. I believed that I was so ugly and that I was just crippled. And so what I would tell, in fact, it's making me want to like tear up, actually, it's hitting a chord, but I would tell her that you're beautiful, baby. You know what I mean? Like, that you can do anything, like you're not crippled. I would tell myself that I'm worthy. And I would tell myself to keep dreaming and to be nice, and I would just be nice. That's it. I would just tell myself to be nice, and that's it. Because I was very mean. So for those of you that I've hurt in my younger years, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. And that's from the whole Ho'oponopono prayer that I give to all my clients, which is all about radical self-love, healing, and forgiveness. And so I've been triggered. And I'm a Pisces. My birthday's coming up. So you see I'm a little water, and there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. And but yeah, that definitely was a connection there, because I'm really proud of myself. And so that's what I teach my clients, is to love on themselves and to embrace themselves. And so that's what I would do for my younger self, because I would beat her up. I was very hard on her, so hard on her. And so I would just not be that way. And so that's why, I teach my clients, and even now what I practice is being patient, having more compassion, because we can't give to others what we first don't have for ourselves. So you can see tears, but these are tears of joy, because I love myself now, and I have compassion now, I have patience now. So now I'm trying to learn that as I apply it to my entrepreneurial path, and how God is seeing me through this whole thing that's just like, it's unseen because I haven't done it before. So it's all about being comfortable, being uncomfortable. But Laurie, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. You touched on that you're very proud of yourself. And I just have to ask, what are you most proud of yourself?
that I left corporate America, that I'm still standing. I've left multiple times. Truth be told, I try to dip out and, do my own business with Mary Kay and New York Life. And it was like, not time. And I had to go back, you know what I mean? But just the simple fact that I have a mind to make it, you know what I mean, in the free enterprise. And I know I have a lane because there's problems that I help other people to solve. And so that's it. I'm just proud of myself for having enough courage to do it. You know what I mean? And to keep doing it, even when I'm like, how are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm doing it, And so that's what I could say, girl. Yep, you keeping on, sister. And so I'm proud of myself being my cheerleader, my biggest cheerleader, and doing it, taking that leap of faith, because I know that if I can make it, and I as long as I got there, I'm like, sisters, who's coming with me? Right over my back. Just like Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad. So for me, it's like, I want to help, free the mind of those that are in bondage. And we got work to do, and that's what I call my programs, Mission Possible, because we live in a land of unlimited potential and possibilities. It's according to your faith, be it done unto you. So what is it that you're believing today for self? You know what I mean?
Yes. And I know we had discussion before, because we both are on similar paths. I've tried to be an entrepreneur many times. I've gone back to, I've done Pampered Chef. I've done the coupon book. I've done life insurance. We are very similar paths, and we've have discussed before. And I left corporate last year. So we definitely, I don't know too sure if that's a Pisces thing or that's something, because me, you, and another Pisces I know, we keep trying to do that entrepreneur. Our fish know very early that the corporate thing is not for us. Like, I tried, but I'd be like, oh, like I suffered, because I agree, it just holds your soul. Like, your soul just don't fit. Your soul just doesn't fit at all. And so for anyone that's out there who's thinking of starting a business, reach out to Miss Coach T or me, and we can at least start the process. We're not there yet. We can get you on that road to that road out the way, to get out that door, to start your plan, to create your path, get your vision going and stuff like that. She's very well with that. I've done 2 programs with her, and she has pushed me forward and helped me get rid of some of my fear and my overthinking, and changing my lifestyle and my life through her programs. And that's why I wanted to interview her, because she's changed my life so much. I wanted her to be able to speak to others so that she could touch them and they have an opportunity to reach out to her. I know one of these is as is below is below. No, I'll let you say it. So the question is, what is your favorite quote and why? Now, that's my favorite quote from you, but what's your favorite quote?
What's funny is I just said it already. If you give a man a fish, you will feed him for a day. But if you teach a man a fish, you will feed him for a lifetime. That comes from Lao Tzu. I love that. But another one that I do like, which is be as above, so below, as within, so without. That's the law of that's one of the laws that I speak on. And, that's how our outer world mirrors our inner world, and everything is everything. And so that's one of the things I talk about in the program, how we got to start to shift things externally. And as we start to shift things externally, inwardly, things start to shift. And so I just love that picture, how you see the tree up above and then below. And it's like a lot of the work that we're doing as entrepreneurs, oftentimes we can't see the breakthrough, but we're doing all this work underground, planting seeds. But the good news is we're going to see that breakthrough as long as we don't stop watering that thing. You know what I mean? And so,
Thank you. And with that, there is a thing about the bamboo tree that takes 5 years to grow the tree. Like, you have to water for 5 years, and then in 30 days it sprouts to 8 feet tall. So is it does it take 5 years for it to grow, or does it grow in the 3 months? And I think your take is that it takes the 5 years to grow. You have to start down underground, and plant the roots and get the roots solid. So then when you break through the ground, you cannot be moved, as they say. I think that's the thing out of the Bible, that stand and not be moved, that you're strong enough to hold the wind and hold the rain and hold the storms, so that you can keep going on, so you can keep going through. Something I also want to say about Miss Athena is that it's a warning, but it's a good warning. If you're not ready to do the inner work, don't sign up. I'm just gonna put that out there because if you are, you have to be ready. You mentally, emotionally, spirit. You have to be ready for Miss Coach T. You have to be ready because she's nonstop. She's like a train. She's coming through, and you got to be ready for that. Or you're gonna get pushed to the side and knocked off the tracks, which is not a bad thing because she's truly, truly given transformation. She's truly helping people change their lives. But I will give that little lovingly warning that if you're not ready, wait till you're ready. Take a smaller class, take a workshop, do a worksheet or something. Start small to build up because she's a powerhouse. And she causes life changes. She creates life changes. She helps you change your life on a very wonderful, wonderful level. But you have to be ready. And she gives gently pudges. She does give gentle pushes, which is wonderful, and everybody needs them. But if you're not ready for that, then just wait till you're ready. She can help you get ready too. But if you want to jump in there both feet, I'd say start with a toe and then go in. Because I jumped both feet in. I'm like, oh, I think. But she held on to me. She put the net around me, held me close, and kept me there. So I just want to put that out there. She is powerful. She is life changing. Her energy is just like fire. So you have to be open to encase that. You have to be open to take all that love in and the care in. If you're not used to that, it could be a challenge. It can be, but it's good. It's good. And the last thing is, what projects are you currently working on that you'd like the audience to keep an eye out for? I know you just mentioned workshops and stuff with the village, but I know you got some bigger things in the works and bigger things thinking. What's out there? What can we look forward to? What can I sign up for?
Look forward to some retreats coming down the pike. I definitely have some new programming coming down the pike that's really around purpose, our human design, looking at our north node, south node. Again, looking at your astrology chart, just really understanding more about self as it relates to your unique design, the time and date that you came in. So every single thing, those numbers have a vibration. And with that vibration is a message and a meaning. And so I like to be able to help people to connect the dots. Excuse me. Additionally, the retreats, like I mentioned, so stay tuned for that. Have some ideas for some workshops, as I mentioned, here at the village. So that's, like right now, some of the things that I have in the works.
Thank you. And please give us your social media stats so people can find you on social media. So we can
Absolutely.
Have
Yep. So you can find me on social media at athenacallender.com is my website. And then Facebook is my primary platform. And so you could just search for me, Athena Callender. I also have a private Facebook group that is called Restoring Wealth and Wellness. So this group is all for faith-based, professional women of color. And this is also for, all types of women that are professional, heart. This is all from the heart, soul-based, faith-based, that are CEOs, entrepreneurs, corporate 9-to-5ers, even women that are retired. So I generally am working with the baby boomers, Generation X. I do find that I do some work with millennials, but more so from like a mentorship perspective. But definitely you can find me online, and I'd love the opportunity to connect. I also have complimentary consultations, So you can book that on my website, athenacallender.com, or just shoot me a DM.
Thank you, Miss Athena. Thank you, Coach T. I love you. Thank you for coming on my show. Well, you guys, that is the wrap up of Let's Talk Tuesday. Again, wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad to have this wonderful queen on my platform, and I will see you next week. Bye.